You are looking to bet on the NBA today. Boy, do I have the show for you. 5 free winners coming at you for Monday, including both matchups on NBA TV. As a reminder, go ahead and comment down below with your thoughts as I'm going through these games. Just a reminder, smash that like button when you are in agreement. It was a winning Sunday for yours truly. Went 2-1 in the NFL Conference Championship games. Had hit a bit of a rough patch Thursday through Saturday, but still on a 39-26-2 all sports run overall. Now, let's get into the Power 5. Pistons at Cavs, 7:10 Eastern on NBA TV. Cleveland out to a 10.5-point favorite here, but note, the Cavs are currently on their longest losing streak of the season, guys. 3 straight. The total for this matchup has gotten as high as 236.5 at circa, which makes a lot of sense as the Cavs have not been playing great defense as of late, allowing 114 or more points 8 times this month. They just let Houston shoot 54.9% from the field, including 46.4% from 3. And in that game, 4 Rocket starters scored at least 20 points. It ended up being a 135-131 final. Now, the Cavs have beaten the Pistons 10 consecutive times, including 113-101 back in October. But this Pistons team's gotten a little friskier since then, haven't they? Remember, their head coach, JB Bickerstaff, used to coach the Cavs, so there'll be some motivation there. Bickerstaff now has Detroit in the top 6 in the Eastern Conference, if you can believe it or not. The team had won 4 straight times on the road prior to a loss in Orlando on Saturday. But for my bet here, gave you a lot of information there for side and total, but my bet is going to be in the player prop market. And I want to take a look at Evan Mobley's points plus rebounds. That number's currently set at 26.5, and I think it's too high. Mobley returned to the Cavs lineup Saturday, finished with just 7 points and 8 rebounds. I expect him to play more than 29 minutes this time, but he's not going to be clearing 26 and a half when it comes to that number of total points plus rebounds. The Pistons have a really good defender inside in Isaiah Stewart. Another player prop I like on Monday's slate is Zion Williamson, over 21.5 points. Williamson and the Pelicans are north of the border tonight to take on a Toronto team that all of a sudden has won 3 in a row. Longest win streak of the season. The Pelicans actually opened as underdogs here, but have since flipped to 1.5-point favorites. On the morning wager, Mark Zinno, if I can say his name, discussed liking New Orleans in this one. We are both highly skeptical of Toronto being able to continue to win games. However, for me personally, I think I like this Williamson bet even better the more I look at it. Williamson had 28 points and 11 rebounds in a losing effort for Charlotte on Saturday. With DeJounte Murray listed as questionable, Brandon Ingram still out for the Pelicans, I think it's Williamson that's got to lead the way tonight. Raptors games are generally played at a fast pace, so there should be plenty of possessions. And it's not like Toronto has any great shakes defensively, guys. They are bottom 5 for the season in defensive efficiency. One more player prop for you tonight, and then we'll get to some totals. I like Bogdan Bogdanovic to go over 2.5 assists as his Hawks are in Minnesota. Now, this may be surprising to some of you, considering Bogdanovic has now gone 6 straight games with 2 or fewer assists. He's averaging just 2 assists per game for the season. But here's the thing. No Trae Young, no Jalen Johnson for the Hawks in this game. When one of those two are out, Young in particular, Bogdanovic's assist numbers do go way up. So I like the over 2.5 assists there. I also like the under 230.5 in Wizards Mavs. This is an 840 tip off in Dallas. Washington is atrocious. They have lost 13 consecutive games. And yes, I understand that they are the worst defensive team in the league by a pretty substantial margin. However, without Luka Doncic, Dallas has not been good offensively. The numbers are the numbers. There are some other key players injured too for the Mavs. Maxi Kleber, Derek Lively. Team is just 5-11 straight up since Doncic got hurt on Christmas. They have failed to hit, Dallas has, their scoring average of 115.5 points per game in 11 of their last 17 contests. 4 of the last 5 home games, the Mavs have been held to 107 points or fewer. Unders are hitting 61% in Mavs home games for the season. Washington on the road averages just 105 points per game. That's third fewest in the league. So I think this number of 230.5 is way too high. Last game on the docket is Clippers Suns. This is the 9:40 tip-off on NBA TV. Clippers currently 1.5-point road favorites, while the total has been bet up to 224. Both teams are playing well as of late. Suns have won 7 of 9, while the Clips have won 6 of 8. For Phoenix, what's interesting about this 7-2 surge, it coincides with Jusuf Nurkic getting benched. If you've been paying attention to social media or just the NBA news in general, you're probably aware there's been a bit of a spat, how shall we say, between Nurkic and head coach Mike Budenholzer. However, I don't want to fade either of these teams right now. I mentioned at the outset they're both playing well, but I do want to punch back at the market a little bit and bet the under. The Clippers have the third best scoring defense in the league this season, 106.8 points per game. Meanwhile, the Suns' last 3 games have all stayed under the total. So I like the under there as well. We've got 3 player props and 2 unders for you here on Monday. Let's just go through the Power 5 one more time. I like Evan Mobley of the Cavs to go under 26.5 points plus rebounds. I like Zion Williamson over 21.5 points for the Pelicans against the Raptors. Bogdanovich over 2.5 assists as his Hawks are in Minnesota. I like under 230.5 for Wizards Mavs and under 224 for Clippers Suns. Again, smash that like button for me if you're in agreement. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you disagree with on that rundown. Then head on over to wt.buzz/BP for all of my top selections on Monday. You've still got a chance to get on board for the next 7 days for just $77. That gives you every play I release in every sport for the next week. And with that, I say the Power 5 is now complete for Monday. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Until next time, guys, let's cash some tickets.